to former State Department Deputy Spokesman Adam Ereli on why that venue matters. Ambassador, the president seems to want it in the demilitarized zone. Other presidents have visited that zone in the past without discussions with the North Korean leader. Where do you think it will ultimately be?
Well, your guess is as good as mine, quite frankly. You know, I got to say, I think everybody's, I for one am shocked that we're even having this discussion, to tell you the truth, because if you just think back to earlier this year, you know, the president was talking about fire and fury and calling him Little Rocket Man, and North Korea was testing ballistic missiles, and Hawaii went on a missile alert. And look how far we've come in such a short period of time, which, frankly, I have to say, I think the president has proved the skeptics wrong in this. Now, with respect to the location itself, look, historically, when you have sort of these summits between rival powers, you like to choose neutral territory. I'm thinking of President Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev meeting in Iceland, the Reykjavik summit, for example. You know, the demilitarized zone is, I guess, neutral territory, but it's neutral territory in the middle of a war zone. On the one hand, that would be, you know, would certainly show the president kind of going to the belly of the beast and looking presidential. However, you know, it's a little close for comfort with all those loaded guns pointed at each other in that very spot. So my guess is it's not going to be in the demilitarized zone. It'll be in some neutral territory, not China. Mongolia kind of makes sense. I mean, remember, it's not that easy for the North Korean leader to get around, and I don't think he's going to want to go too far from home, given the kind of regime that he runs. So Mongolia makes sense, but look, the venue is important, but what strikes me is also worth talking about or considering is, you know, I am stunned that the North Koreans have floated a proposal before the meeting. I mean, they've gotten
actually several proposals, Ambassador. They've already talked about stopping their missile tests, dismantling their entire nuclear program. And the one thing they asked in return, I think, in one of the original discussions was that we would agree not to attack them. And I'm wondering, it almost seems like too much of a layup. What do you make of that?
I just, you know, again, this story never ceases to surprise and to have twists and turns. I mean, the fact of the matter is, for a reclusive, hidebound, archaic regime, they are proving surprisingly subtle and tactful and aggressive. I mean, they're driving the agenda. They're putting forward their negotiating positions, to which now we have to respond.
This is a 180 from what they were 6 months ago. Now, well, you'd like to see this new, you know, about face is welcome or whatever. I worry, and I don't mean to be cynical or jaded here. I just worry that they're being a little too forthcoming, a little too agreeable, and I don't know what to make of it.
But, Mr. Cavuto, you could say the same thing about the President of the United States.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know that?
So that's why this is such a great story to watch and a difficult one to predict.
No, you're absolutely right about that. We've come a long way from Rocket Man, I guess. So, Ambassador, thank you very, very much.